Hello and welcome. I'm Reverend Nhien, founder of Evolving Enneagram. If you are interested in a compassion-based and contemplative approach to the Enneagram, you are in the right place. This year, we will be doing a year-long talk series based on this book by Oren Sofer, Your Heart Was Made for This. Its subtitle is Contemplative Practices for Meeting a World in Crisis with Courage, Integrity, and love. And so here at Evolving Enneagram, we're interested not just in the Enneagram for its own sake, but how Enneagram information can result in transformation in our own lives and ultimately in the world. So in this video, you'll learn how by changing how we pay attention, we can begin to change our behavior, redirect our energy, and use it in service to our highest life expression, use it in service, I hope, to the world. So let's begin this mini sermon or talk with a couple of seeds. Maybe at home, you want to grab some of your own for this week, just as a touchstone and as a reminder about what seeds of attention you might be sowing this week. So in his book, Sofer writes about how as a child, he loved collecting seeds and he would actually water them and nourish them. And some of them quite magically seeming started to grow. And there are these tender sprouts of new life that emerged from them. And so Sofer talks about this with wonder. And then he talks about how seeds really create life. And unfortunately, as a result of that, there is a battle in our world for seeds, like agriculturally, there's a battle for seeds. And the activist has, Vedana Shiva has said that when you control seed, you control life on this earth. Whew. When you control seed, you control life on this earth. And for those of us who believe that life is consciousness, and who also believe that we can, as Sofer reminds us, seed our attention, and through seeding our attention, change our lives. We start to think about this notion of seeding and of attention in a different way. So this week, my invitation to you is to reflect on, from an Enneagram standpoint, what your habit of attention is. Now, some of you could be newer to the Enneagram, so I'm going to give you just a brief list for each of the numbers, right? Each of the types. But also, even if you're not new to the Enneagram, I want you to consider that even if you have this information and you know in theory that, yeah, as a type 1, my focus of attention is on error, I want you to take this invitation to practice present moment awareness, where this week, even if you're not changing any of your behavior, what you're doing is you're noticing how often your attention is being drawn to exactly what your Enneagram type's habit of attention is. So, ready? We're going to go over the 9 habits of attention based on your Enneagram type. Again, review for some, brand new for others, but really it's about noticing how often this shows up for you during the week. So for the type 1, the focus of attention is on error and correcting error. The focus of attention for type 2s is on others' needs or desires, especially those of your special somebodies, right? Type 3s, this is a little nuanced. People always say we're focused on doing, but I'd like to say that as an Enneagram type 3, that there's something about accomplishing based on others' values. So consider how often you want to accomplish something based on others' values and where your attention goes even to those values or to what needs to be done around them. So for Type 4s, consider how often your focus of attention goes toward what appears to be missing, right? What isn't here now. And even to your emotional state or your longing around what seems missing or not present. Enneagram Type 5s, notice how often your attention goes to gaining or gathering information or understanding, and then conversely to avoiding intrusion from others, right? Type 6s, notice how often your attention goes to what could go wrong. And I wanted to speak to a nuance here. It's not just about like what could go wrong. Sometimes 6s can think, well, I'm focused on the good, right? But I don't want so much good because it could be, the rug could be pulled out from under me. So that's one version of being focused on threat. So type 7s, notice how often your attention goes to generating options or in idealized future plans, right? You can do that without even thinking these plans are practical or even going to happen. There's something about just keeping your attention focused on that. And then for 8s, I want to say that there's a focus of attention on armoring, meaning the way in which you defend against your vulnerability, but also the focus is on resisting being impacted by others. So of course you're conscious of being not wanting to be controlled by others, but I would say also the tenderness of being impacted positively by others. So see how your attention goes toward armoring against that during this week. And then finally, 9s tend to have this habit of attention based on others' agenda or on environmental influences, right? So there's an external orientation around your attention. So that's step 1. Even if you just do that, it would be an amazing week for you to have the ahas and catch yourself in those habits of attention and recognize, is my attention really free? And if my attention is placed here, how does my attention, my energy, follow my attention? So if my attention is on this, I'm using my energy for it too. So how much do I use my energy in service to placing my attention on this thing, like correcting error, for instance, again, for the 1? And then if your energy goes there, where couldn't it go? Like maybe one of your New Year's resolution, one of your visions or aspirations, right? Aspirations will be our topic for next week. But just think about like what you're missing out on that you're striving to unfold for yourself in your life, but your habit of attention takes you one way, and then your energy and your behavior follows. So just be aware, and best you can do that with as much compassion as possible. And then possibly if you have a little extra oomph, you might want to sow a different seed. I'm not going to tell you what that seed is. That's going to be for yours to determine, but consider it being something kind of different or opposite. Like, right, if you're focused on error, maybe you want to sow a seed of attention on what is right or perfect or whole or beautiful. I think I'll close with a quote. So I'm going to pull out a quote here from Sofer's book. Consciousness also contains seeds. The seeds in our hearts and minds govern our perceptions, intentions, and actions, in turn influencing the structures of society. We sow seeds of generosity, contentment, love, and joy, as well as seeds of fear, greed, hatred, and ignorance. Whatever we cast in the fertile soil of the heart-mind will grow when watered with the seed of attention. So, what seeds will you intentionally sow this week by recognizing the seeds of attention that are not intentional? Blessings.